Hey guys, here I am making a Scrallet. I'm calling it a Scrallet because it's a mallet made out of scraps. As you can see, I'm just gluing up all my random scraps. I got some padauk, some oak, some maple and birch in there, I think. Just hitting it with some wood glue. I'm using Type-On too, but doesn't matter. It's a mallet. As you can see, I'm just making 4 individual little mini panels. Throwing them on some bar clamps there. Love those Harbor Freight bar clamps. For small stuff, work great for the price. And here I am popping those panels on the joiner. So I let them dry overnight. I'm sure like 12 hours is about good enough, but you know, I usually let my glue ups dry up overnight. As you can see here, I'm having some trouble with the joiner. I just got it, so I'm just trying to figure out that new guard assembly there. A little bit of fiddling around, but essentially what I'm doing is I'm trying to make those panels nice and flat. Now you'll notice I am doing both sides, which is typically a no-no, but in this case, it's good enough for a mallet. I was too lazy to pull out the planer. It was way too cold out that day. And yes, I shouldn't have been wearing shorts, you're right. So I got that last panel there, jointed up nice and flat. And here I'm gonna show them to you, because everyone wants to see how they're gonna look. Oh, look at that, beautiful. Beautiful and random, just like me. So now that we got those panels all nice and flat, we're gonna then glue those 4 panels together. Type-On glue again, or Type-On 2. Type-On glue, Type-On 2. Kind of rhymes. Nothing crazy here. I went for a random appearance. I didn't try any particular order here, just kind of glue them together. It's a Scrallet, after all. It's supposed to be random. And here, I'm going to put 1,000,000 clamps on it. If you think you need an extra clamp, add 4. Oh man, I've never seen somebody clamp wood so well. Incredible. Oh, it kind of looks like a 50 caliber machine gun. I wonder if I thought that in the moment.
Say hello to my little friend.
Well, they're all glued up. So I let that dry for another day, and here I'm going to chop off the excess. Probably should have used the push stick, but you know, I was making halfway through cuts, if that's what they're called. I don't know, cutting halfway through, so there was minimal amount of blade protruding. But yeah, guys, use a push stick. If you even think you need a push stick, you need a push stick. So we got that side ripped right off there. Looking pretty good. One step closer to getting this to look like a mallet. And I guess you got to karate chop it like that. I guess that's important too. So don't forget the karate chop. And there I think I'm just indicating that I did about a 6-degree angle. Definitely going to watch my fingers there. That blade is ready to rip them right off. Probably better ways to do this. Maybe clamp it on the fence of the miter gauge. That might be a little bit safer. But looks pretty cool in the end. Kind of like a random checkerboard. It's kind of what I was going for. But as far as the angle, let's get back to the angle. Now, I just picked 6 degrees because it looked right. But, you know, pick what you feel is good for you. You know, you want a little bit of an angle on there so you can get a good swing at things. But, you know, the angle isn't important. It's just kind of what you want. Oh, man, look at that. I should be a wood project model. So now that we got the mallet head in decent shape, we're going to drill the hole for the handle. Now, I opted to use a 1¼ dowel, piece of oak dowel. Now, it was because I was just too lazy to mortise out a square hole, to be completely honest. So essentially what I'm doing is I have a 1¼ Forstner bit on there, and I'm just hogging it right through. And luckily, this mallet head was just under the size of that bit, so I could go all the way through. No, I take that back. I flipped it around, I did it twice. I was thinking of the other mallet that I made, but yes, flipped it around twice, so make sure that your marks, your center marks on each side of that mallet are dead on. because that will lead to a problem that you'll see later in the video. I didn't get these holes perfectly matched, which, as you can figure, is definitely a problem. But I'll shut up and let you watch me drill this hole. That did not sound right. Look at that concentration face. You know, it's pretty funny. I have like a 15 amp circuit going to my garage, so every time I hog down through that wood, you can actually see the lights dim a little bit. Hey, you gotta make do gotta make do with what you got. Now here is something I definitely recommend do not do. Now what I'm doing now is I'm actually cutting a kerf for the wedge that's going to go through the top of the handle. Now cutting a piece of circular stock like this on a table saw is incredibly dangerous, so don't do what you just saw. Use a handsaw. And here you can actually see I'm cutting the wedge on my bandsaw. And you'll notice that the bottom door is open because, like an idiot, I actually put the blade on backwards, and that's why I'm having such trouble here. So I was trying to troubleshoot it, and I never just looked at it and said, hey, the blade is backwards, you idiot. So, but anyways, we somehow got a wedge out of it, so it worked. But the next day I couldn't believe that I just had the blade on backwards. So, yeah. I like to show all my mistakes because I make them a lot, and it's good to learn from them, you know. A raw approach to woodworking. Now here I'm just taking a 3/8 roundover, I think it was, roundover bit on the router. Now as you can tell, I don't have a router table yet, so I'm just kind of sketchily clamping this onto my table saw. But it works. Probably not super safe, but again, use your own judgment. Be as safe as you feel you need to be. Just kind of knocking off all the edges there. Look at that. So smooth. And this is, I don't even know what I'm trying to say tonight, but I'm not going to re-record this voiceover, so putting in the wedge, that's what I'm doing. A little bit of glue on top, and that wedge that I somehow made with a backwards bandsaw blade is going right in the top. And that was the point of the kerf. So the kerf is going to expand when you knock that wedge in and make that handle super tight. So if you notice, I didn't actually even put glue in the handle area, just the wedge. So if I ever have to replace this, I could just knock that wedge out and put a new handle in. Gave it a couple good whacks until I felt that it bottomed out fully. And here I'm just going to cut it off with a flush cut saw, as close as I can get it without scratching my mallet. Now that I got that excess wedge trimmed off, I'm just going to throw it on my little belt sander here. One of my favorite tools, by the way. And I'm just knocking off that little bit of excess handle to make it nice and flush. Looks really cool with that Paduke wedge in there.
The Scrallet is complete. Actually, the Scrallets are complete. I made these off camera. I just had so much scrap wood that I was like, I might as well make a bunch of Scrallets, right? But this is the primary one that I've been showing you through the video, the one that I like the most. It's got the coolest wood in there, some Paduke birch, oak hickory, something else, I don't even know what it is, but came out pretty good. Now, funny part is, I put all my concentration into this mallet, and look at how crooked that handle is. These babies are perfect. So sometimes it happens, but I'm gonna pretend that that's for ergonomics. You know, I meant to do it. But overall, really fun project. If you have a bunch of scraps hanging around, make a mallet. You can sell them, you can keep them. I kind of want to make a mallet wall in my house. I'll try to convince my wife, but we'll see how that works. But make some mallets out of scraps. Ooh, this one's really cool actually. I think it's spalted maple. I like that one. But anyways, hope you enjoyed. Boring guy, DIY.